Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant news. Loads going on right now. Rostomania is in full swing. Champions is just around the corner. Going to be discussing where Dicey might be going and Sinatra's potential to join the team for VCT 2022. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can do to help this channel reach more people. Please consider subscribing as well if you have not yet already. Really romping up the sub count. Just love to see it. Firstly, there's some George. We looked at this yesterday. Just wanted to mention it again if you guys missed it. The chamber is not going to be allowed here in Champions in December. It's going to be seen first in VCT 2022. So kind of an interesting move. Now Fracture is going to be allowed. So this new map, of course, coming into the game, that is going to be played at Champions. So they are bringing that one in. But yeah, chamber not going to be seen until next year. It does seem at this point. This also we saw a few days ago. Vision Strikers bound for Berlin. They're getting ready to go. The bootcamp is in full swing right now. It seems on the European side with a number of these teams. Definitely getting some good practice in against some top competition. Now, thought it was a cool article actually that came out from the Vision Strikers guys just discussing this stacked as you can see right here. I want us to become a team that is revered as the best in the world. This over at absolutelegends.gg. Just a couple of things I thought were quite interesting. So just wanted to mention the point he makes here on Fracture. Recently it's appeared in the map pool. How do you like this map? Do you like it or not? To be honest, still trying to figure out how to get used to a map without kind of a mid on the map, which actually is a kind of good point. But I think this also makes the map completely unique. I'm excited to see what new approaches will be made on this map. And he also goes on to describe a few things about how the team is set up right here. But he says down here, what are your expectations for Champions 2021? A lot of people saying Vision Strikers potentially is a top 5 team coming into this event. Do you set any specific goals? My goal, as well as my teammates, is obviously winning the event. I want us to become a team that is revered as the best team in the world, and for us to staple our names in the Valorant community as some of the best players to have ever played the game. So exciting stuff for these guys, obviously coming over from Korea. And as they say right here, this is the group that is going down. They're over in Group D. It's a difficult group, no doubt. They've got Fnatic, they've got Cloud9 Blue, they've got full sense. It's going to be tough to get out of this one. Only 2 teams will make it out. That is a brutal group, quite frankly. But if they play to their level, they can certainly do so. These are the other groups if you guys missed it from yesterday as well. Let's talk about the Rostomania situation as it continues to go down. With 100 Thieves looking to make some moves, they're looking to replace Boy with someone. Who knows if Nitro is going to stay there or is going back to CS. That is a big question mark at the present time. Apparently 7 isn't ready to go, so they're considering some other options. Now at Dicey, who was on that team quite a while ago, he's now been sitting on the sub bench, like, what's going on with him? Where's he going to go? This came out last night from Asuna stream. You can see on the right hand side here, like, all the friends. This is how people find all the intel, it seems. Like, people are just playing the game, they look at the friends list, and they can say, okay, oh, this guy's playing with this guy, maybe that means something or other. Now, as we can see right here, so Dicey is in a party with the ABX guys. So this is the Andbox team. We can see ABX Marza, Mame, of course, who joined that team very recently, is in a party with Dicey and co. So seems like that potentially is going to be, at least a trial that is going on at the present time. As you can see right here, a while ago, we got Mame now joining. This is at the start of November, when Mame came over from Envy after, after the situation went on with that team, joining the Andbox guys over in New York. And this has really been not particularly a good team so far in the Valorant side. But, they're hoping, I guess, to make waves, at least in terms of their ranking right now. It's not particularly impressive. But Dicey joining the squad, I guess it makes a fair bit of sense. He's at least trialing with the team, it seems, at the present time. For example, this is the Andbox's results the last couple of months. We can see their current roster of Vice, Mame Alexander, Marda, and PL1XX. Not really sure how to pronounce that one, but ranked 30th right now in North America. They had a good run right here through October, but it just hasn't been particularly good. I guess they've come into the scene relatively recently, so you can't say too much about it. But of course, they're looking to build some sort of decent roster for VCT 2022. They've been around quite a while, but haven't had too much success. Very much a mixed team up and down. So potentially Dicey joining this squad, and this also from the Gen.G side. This I thought was kind of even more interesting, was that BabyJ, I believe, was the first player to get released from the FaZe team we looked at after the last chance qualifier. BabyJ got released, and then the rest of the guys like Raucus and Co. Of course, Raucus now the coach for Sentinels. Kind of crazy how that went down. But I believe babybay might be the only player that's staying on FaZe, at least at the present time. That is what is believed to be the case. Corey's going to TSM. That team's basically exploded. Now where BabyJ goes, that was a big question mark. Seems like right here, except Dephh is scrimming up against the new Gen.G squad with Sean and potentially BabyJ in this team as well. So it seems like a couple of trials going on right now with maybe the Gen.G squad looking to bring BabyJ into the team. That I think would be kind of cool. A lot of people were saying that another team definitely needs to pick this guy up. This is the current roster: GMD, Kusta, Nature, Sean, and Michael's kind of not in there anymore. But as you can see, Gen.G played so many tournaments or so many matches the last several months, and it really hasn't worked out too well for them. For example, as you can see here with the LCQ, when they went to this last chance qualifier, and they lost 100 Thieves 2-1, then they lost to Cloud9 Blue 2-1 to lose out of the tournament. So to be fair, they almost beat Cloud9. Like, it wasn't out of the realms of possibility potentially they could have won this series. They got completely crushed on Ascent 13-1. They won the split 14-12, and then they lost the Breeze 13-10. So they weren't miles away from taking down this team that did go, of course, to champions. But, I mean, still, they're obviously looking to make some moves. Temperature was in the team at the time, stepping in for Michael as it was, and now he's out of there again. And we're now looking potentially at BabyJ coming into this roster. I honestly do kind of like the sound of that. We'll have to see how it goes. Now, this is what George Geddes says on the timeline, because he's over at the Esports Awards, I believe, at the present time. This last bit, of course, is bait. But as he says, yes, Dicey trialing with Andbox, BabyJ with GenG. That seems to be the situation. Dicey actually here, he's only trialing at the moment, I believe. So potentially that is the situation as it transpires going forwards. Speaking of potential roster changes, this I thought interesting was said as well a couple of days ago when he kind of did this Q&A on the timeline. Is Riot still shadow banning Sinatraa at J1? So of course we do believe, at least it is understood generally, that after all the controversy that kind of took down Sinatra's career after moving to Valorant, there was a big question mark really as to whether Riot wants teams to pick him up, because obviously he is a very talented player, definitely easily good enough to be in the VCT and be on a very top team in the VCT. But of course, well, whether he actually gets picked up again by another squad other than Sentinels, that very much does remain to be seen. It seems like from some of the clips I've seen the last couple of months or so, he does want to compete, he wants to be back on a team, of course, and, you know, who can blame him for that one? But, you know, Riot apparently, even though teams were interested a couple of months ago, were kind of giving the indication like, look, we don't really want you to sign him, like it's kind of a bad look, so, you know, maybe don't do that or something. Now, apparently that's not the case anymore. Sinatraa is free to find a new team, but nobody will take him. So maybe Riot isn't giving any, like, implications anymore, but the teams themselves are kind of hesitant to do so. Of course, like, at the same time, there are some teams that I'm sure could massively benefit from Sinatraa. It's kind of like which team is actually going to, you know, take a shot on him, I suppose, and which team is going to take that potential hit of implication for the benefit of a much better team in theory, right? That's a balance I'm sure some of these teams are going to be taking, and to be honest, I think one of them eventually is probably going to bite the bullet and give it a go, because that's Sinatraa joining TSM, when, of course, that's not going to happen. But a team like 100 Thieves, for example, you guys were mentioning it a few days ago, as that we can see right here, like Sinatraa is heading out to Berlin to, I guess, support the Sentinels guys as they're getting ready to go for champions. But like, look, a team like 100 Thieves, we know their situation right now. We've got Ethan there, we've got Hiko there, and we've got Asuna there, and then the rest of the team is a bit of a question mark. Is Nitro still going to be there? Like, we'd imagine potentially, but by no means guaranteed. And then they've got the Boy question, like probably Boy's going to go back to being their analyst and not their long-term solution, and then they're looking at another option, right? And you know, could Sinatraa fit in there? It's tough to say, but still, I think that eventually one of these teams is going to take a shot on it, and I wouldn't be surprised. Sinatraa like lays low and whatever after Champions goes down, because we know after Champions things are going to kick off. Rostomania is kind of crazy right now, but the fact of the matter is there's 16 best teams in the world at Champions. Like, these guys are going to make a lot of moves after this tournament concludes, especially the ones that aren't winning the entire thing. Probably only a couple of teams at Champions will probably retain their roster, because if one team runs away with things and wins the entire thing, then you know, like Sentinels, for example, if they dominate the tournament, which is going to be tough to do, but if they did theoretically, then pretty much every other team is going to make a change to try and take those guys down. Of course, some teams already figuring out their roster for next year that aren't at Champions, because they can't take any guarantees on some of these changes that could potentially be made, but Sinatraa could be one that they're like, okay, look, we need to build a team to take down Sentinels. Sinatraa, come join us, and we'll give it a go. Or, you know, whatever other team happens to win the event. Gambit, of course, are arguably favourites. Very much intrigued to your thoughts down below. Plenty happening right now, as I'm sure you guys can tell. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting the like button tells the YouTube gods this is a good video. I looks like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you much, as always, take care, and I will see you next time.